with the final experiment, where do you fall as it pertains to Witsit?
In regards to,
Is he full of shit?
no, I don't think he's full of shit at all.
Okay. Good to hear.
Yeah, no, I think he's a stand-up dude. I think he gave his honest interpretation of what he experienced. Um, yeah,
That's good. So far, most of the flat earthers that I know are not calling bullshit on him.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
try to say some generalized, like the community in some generalized fashion, whatever words and terminologies you want to put to different people's viewpoints when you take the totality, I guess. I mean, if we had to guess, it seems like maybe, what do you guys think? 10 to 20% maybe are thinking it's fake or whatever.
That's
80% don't.
good. That's
I
great.
mean,
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
sounds
Those
about
are
right.
well,
just,
The
you
flat
gotta
earthers are
remember.
making it sound like, excuse me, the global earthers are making it sound like it's a civil war, like a 50-50 sort of thing.
no, they're just being deceptive and trying to make some larger hoopla out of it. There's a small sort of minority that's been somewhat loud, like a couple of the channels that have been like, it's fake, and whatever. So it's sort of like that thing where if it is 10 or 15% or whatever, then those folks are being probably louder than the rest who just think it's real. Meaning it's not like a bunch of people are like making videos like it's real, it's real, it's real. It's like everyone that just knows it's real, and then the few people that think it's fake are making videos and trying to ruffle feathers in
I
general.
The
know.
way I see it, the way I see it is, for the most part, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but for the majority, in my opinion, flat earthers have been traumatized. The fact that they've come to flat earth kind of shows the fact that they're scrutinizing, what they've been indoctrinated with and questioning things. And that kind of creates like a form of trauma to the point where it's like you start questioning everything. And then some people have a problem with where to draw the line to that, right? They don't necessarily have the proper discernment. Well, now everything is scrutinizable, even even if it requires cannibalizing their own camp just for lack of discernment, and that's kind of what, in my opinion, what I'm witnessing.
That's very big of you.
Dude, that was well said.
Yeah, serious, bro.
I agree.
Now tell it to the ones in the back. They were whispering amongst themselves. Anyway.
That's very
I
big
mean,
of you.
Witz has done a lot for the community. He's excelled a lot of the arguments beyond what I've witnessed people's capability to be. And in my opinion, he's like a flat earth champion. That's kind of how I perceive him. And I don't understand why people are trying to assault his character or demean his integrity in any way by, placing these possibilities on him. But I don't know, man. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. I think Witsit deserves more credit. And everybody, right, should always question everything, but at what point do you draw the line and say, what's the resolution to what I'm questioning? Am I just scrutinizing to scrutinize? Or is there some sort of like viable outcome to what I'm scrutinizing? You know what I mean? Like they were going on and on about this vape thing and footprints and just all sorts of weird stuff that just seems very like it doesn't seem fruitful in any way.
I think it's super big of you to say that. I mean, it seems to me like you're implying that this seems to stem from one degree or another from being a flat earther, right? From trauma.
Well, it's from the trauma of realization that you've been lied to on multiple fronts. So now everything is questionable, and these a lot of these people, they don't really have any kind of formal way to perceive the rationale or logic of what's being said. They just want they just want to refute it and not really have
So,
any rhyme or reason to it.
do you think that's exclusive to the final experiment?
No, I think this goes far beyond that. I think this level of thinking goes far beyond that.
Yep.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, in analyzing, I know what you're getting at, but in analyzing, let's say moon fakery footage or whatever, there have always been analyses of those that have not been very strong, and then there's been some analyses that are very strong, meaning that there are some people that have said, "Oh, I think the moon landing is fake for this reason," and it's not so great of a reason. You know what I mean? It's not very solid, meaning they're either a little bit of a misfire, they're maybe stretching, they're stretching a little bit. You know what I mean? So if they're false in that one thing, it's sort of like that's where discernment comes in. It doesn't mean that the entire moon landing is not fake. It just means that particular analysis. So in the same way, just because there's people that call themselves flat earthers, they think the moon landing is fake, and then if some of them are like, in my viewpoint, misfiring and claiming the TFE thing is fake, it doesn't mean that like the moon landing is real all of a sudden because they misfired on one discernment.
Of course.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that
Thank
all their
you.
that all the
Thanks for saying
analysis
that.
from it.
Serious video.
Yeah.
I was
That makes
thinking that
sense.
same thing, dude. Like, I could tell what he's getting at.
What am I getting at?
Oh, just what Gio said. Like, literally, he took the words right out of my mouth, but said it better than I could.
I think that people that are claiming that it's fake are claiming that it's fake essentially like as a reaction because they think that that falsifies flat Earth. So they've just convinced themselves that footsteps or vape means it's fake when in reality they've just auto hoaxed it.
Yeah, because
So
what's happening, Charlie, what you're saying about some of the globe Earth folks is that because some of the, if you want to call them flat Earth folks, are saying it's fake and they're wrong, some of the globe Earth folks are trying to say, look, point the finger, look, oh my God, you guys are wrong about this one, therefore you're wrong about everything else. Oh my
nope.
God, you're wrong. That I'm just saying that's the vibe of some of them are trying to put
I know.
that forth as if like,
What I am trying
they're
to
just.
convey is I hope you see why it's difficult to argue against these people. And by these people, I don't mean flat earthers. I mean a subset of flat earthers. However that big a subset from the superset is, that's up to debate. But I mean, as much as I fucking hate Dave Faruga, he made a good point where it seems like flat earthers are now seeing what it's like to argue, what it feels like for a globe earther to argue with certain flat earthers. Anyway, I'm late to pick up my kid. You guys have a good one.
You too, man. Thanks.
Gio, you see what I posted?
I see that. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, check it out. Gio, you saw that Trump signed executive order to declassified JFK files, Robert F.K. and Martin Luther King.
Wow. I expected the first one somewhat, but not the second one. That's cool.
It'd be interesting to see what the Warren Report 2.0.
He said fully disclosure. Yeah,
I don't think he was
he's
even killed. I don't think he was even shot that day. So they're not going to say that. They're not going to be like, oh, he wasn't really shot. It was just a massive fucking media psyop that they did.
Which one? MLK or JFK?
Well,
You don't think he was shot? I don't know. I think he was shot, and like, I don't know. There's this whole 3 gunman story because they were supposed to kill Fidel Castro, and then they didn't, and so they killed him instead because of political reasons. But I don't know. You could be right too. I don't know. I totally think he was shot though, just from my research or whatever. Why do you think he wasn't? Like, what brought you to that?
JFK?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a big
No,
topic.
you don't have to. I was just curious.
Well,
But same for
I
me.
just like I was.
Explain my whole thing. It'll be big.
Well, I was just about to make a phone call. That's the only thing. So I just don't have like uninterrupted time at the moment to go all into it. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons I don't think he was. But yeah, we could do a whole, like an hour discussion on it at some point or something, because it is a good topic. But yeah, there's
I'll
a lot of
rewatch
reasons.
I'll rewatch the thing I watched to get the information I got to freaking, have that conversation with you on a real level. That'll be fun. But do you know anything else about it, Elbow? Or is it just the declassification? Like, do you know anything about either of the... Like, I don't know anything about MLK personally. Like, I just know that he was shot, and there's all these, you know how stuff goes. But I never looked into him.
I mean, I've seen a bunch of videos on that, but not really. CIA did it. Also, Dicelo, he signed another executive order saying strengthening an American leadership in digital financial technology.
Let's go, baby. I've been waiting for that. So, do you have any more info as to what that means?
Says the purpose of digital assets industry. I'll post the order if you want. It's pretty extensive. So it's practically telling that. I just posted it. Role in innovating in economic development in the United States, as well as our nation's international leadership in the. It is this, therefore, the policy of the administration to support the responsible growth and use of digital assets, blockchain technology, and related technologies across all sectors of the economy, including by, and it says a bunch of other points.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wait to watch the interpretation through one of my many YouTube sources, crypto sources.
Hey, when you come across one, let me
It's
know.
pretty plain, though.
Try it out,
It's pretty plain in wording. Not much of legal. One of the ones says taking measures to protect Americans from the risks of central bank digital currencies, which threaten the stability of the financial system individually, and sovereignty of the United States, including.
Well, that is one thing he promised, to never allow a centralized digital currency. But one of the things he said he was going to do was level the playing field for the entirety of the crypto space, due to the fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum essentially got a free pass to operate, while everyone.
It's understandable not to have children, but make the smart.
The 22th, I could count to that one, the 22th tower,
Okay.
and when I compared it with the more Zoom, and I started with the 8, it also was the 22th, so I was very certain from it. And then when you look past the horizon, the top of the towers go diminish in size in a straight line. So it looks curved in front of the horizon, but it looks flat behind the horizon, because it works like perspective on a flat Earth.
Right.
And
So,
from that I could assess what happens in front of the horizon, because
right.
the horizon is much more closer by than you would expect. So it's a visual effect. It can't be anything else, because behind the horizon it is flat.
Yeah, I like how you said that, because and just to add a little bit, I like the way you worded it, but just to add to it maybe a little bit more was from certain heights, the globe mathematics, or what we were taught with a certain radius is is off. Like we know that much. But when you confront people with their own math, right, and show them how if you have a level optic that you're using, not your eyes but another, like a camera zoom, like you said, then obviously at a certain point things should start you should never see anything behind the horizon from that point on. But when you do and you show them, I think it kind of it corners them, right, to where
to look into the future instead of into
Hold
the
on.
past.
Can I ask you one thing?
Instead of
Hold on, let me
looking.
ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, one question. Was this documented by a culture that you've known to go through this? Because
No,
if so, I think
this is
I
growing.
think it's cool.
This is growing from
Mhm.
an understanding. I met a man about 2018, 2019, who was telling what he saw in the stars. And he does it different than a lot of other people. He does sidereal. And he says that I do
And
not
you
have
pick your
I do
moment.
not I do not have the capability to check him fully on his words, but I connected with him, and I have my own experiences with synchronicities and things like that
Okay.
are slowly building a pattern in my inner world. And where was I going?
Well, you were talking about the electromagnetic fields and flipping.
It does make sense to me somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
The reason I asked you. Hold on one second. The reason I asked you is important. It's important.
Yeah.
The reason I asked you is because you were speaking of this kind of cycle, and what I've came to is about every 140 years the magnetic field moves far enough away from geographic north, where Mount Meru is, that there are freezings and refreezings, and these electromagnetic fields kind of merge in a way and cause destruction. And there's a reset of if people live through it, where the gas
Are you an
escape.
archaic guy then?
In a way, I've
You
studied
talking about
some
like the
of his
Phoenix
stuff.
phenomena? Well, yeah, I don't
I
want to
don't
give
even know
credit
what
to
that
him if
is.
he's I don't want to give credit to him or I don't want to give credit to your words to him, if other people have been talking about this. I have seen a few things that I thought it was an original idea of his, that there's this devastating like phenomena every 138 years, but I actually found out that that same concept is expressed in a old book. So maybe that's where he got it from too. But where did you get this idea that every 140 roundabout years some sort of reset type thing
Right.
happens, or whatever you want to?
Gotcha. Just to answer quickly, I know Lightwater was speaking about it, but so calendars, a lot of calendars have these major events, right? When you can line up the Julian, and then the gap between the Gregorian, and then the gap between certain documentations, like books were written certain times afterwards, and then there's gaps in that are very noticeable, I guess. And then it seems as if technology dies down, every so often. So I'm not 100% sure, but I do think there's some kind of, well, I know for sure the magnetic north moves away from geographic north for sure. Like it's happening, measured all the time. But and we see that man is trying to fool us. So there's something going on with these around these times, let's say, and that's the best I got for that. But I'm sure I could speak on it more, but I don't want to take up too much time.
Have you ever heard of gyromagnetic precession?
The gyro,
Yeah,
precession.
however you want to pronounce gyro or whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. gyromagnetic
where it goes.
precession, gyro. What do you think that?
Where
What do those words mean? I only have my guesses.
okay. I don't know 100% about. I do know about the forward, the gyro part, which is something that would need to be stabilized, right? And if something was to take, let's just say, Earth's magnetic, you know, um, toroidal movements and knock them offline, or whatever, or knock them out of whack, it probably would. You would just have to restart, like if there were major landslides, earthquakes, volcanoes, and I'm sure it would, with our big cities and stuff like that. Whoever's in the inner city would probably get all messed up and jumbled up. But yeah, a precession is something that is cyclical, basically. So I kind of think that's a good explanation, or a decent to answer your question a
Sure.
little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I hear the whole concept of like geomagnetic precession being brought up in like conversations about pole shifts, which are one of those things where it's like, has one ever even happened before? It started out as a conspiracy theory. Now it's just sort of been weirdly like accepted and pretended like the mainstream has always believed in them and has, their opinions on when the last one was and when the next one will happen. Like, holy, I thought this was some YouTube conspiracy shit. Now you're just fucking like pretending like you've always known about it. Okay, sure. But anyways, um, I mean,
Yeah, some people may do
my
that.
best attempt to
Yeah.
understand what this whole like pole shift due to geometric precession would be is just like um
I'm back.
basically I imagine you could spin a top. um I imagine you could spin a
Mm,
top in like a weightless environment. And if there's a
mhm.
little bit of imbalance to it in the beginning, maybe that like perturbance is going to like build and build and build and make the tops, like the spinning
Yeah.
tops rotation, like more and more unstable until the point
Mhm.
where the top becomes to like a certain level of unstable that it actually flips upside down in order to stabilize. But then because you can't get rid of the root of the problem, that there's still going to be not like perfect balance being achieved, and then also saying it's sort of like in a zero G environment, that then the sort of perturbation will kind of disrupt the balance of the gyro or the spinning top, upside down, and then eventually cause it to be so disrupted that it'll flip upright again. This
So
only works, in a
Jesus.
sort of zero G environment. That, yeah, Jesus dice though.
Yeah.
I know you're
What
excited.
was?
Go ahead, man. It's all you.
Nah, it's just
Okay.
go on forever, bro. It's like holy shit.
Yeah, no, it
Um,
wasn't forever. Just just untangle your panties. It's your turn. We all got time here.
Well, listen, I would say that, man, maybe I'm not going to be long at all. Maybe people are thinking of that in a globe kind of scenario. But here's what I see. Maybe it's more or less a metaphysical thing that we don't interact with, that kind of rudely interrupts our, what we see, what we can feel or hear, and it is visible, well, people are measuring wherever the strongest northern magnetic spot is, and then geographic north, so they can measure it and show proof that way. Maybe our Earth is just a lot bigger, and it takes a lot longer for some kind of flip to happen. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my guess. Because we can't really see magnetism or electricity. We can see, when it propagates out of what I think is the ether or the metaphysical world. Then we can see electricity. But all these things that are so much stronger, measured and everything, a lot stronger than what we can handle, our bodies can handle. Whew, I would hate to be here if there was some sort of what they call a pole shift. It would
Exactly.
probably just be the ether.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's
You can't say that it wasn't 2012. It still has to grow step by step.
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
Dice was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
cry if you don't let him comment next on pull shift. So let him get his chance.
All right. Go ahead, man. I'm listening.
Die slow, die slow, die slow.
Damn, that's to throw it off balance. But
Right on, bro. See you next time. It has